Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at Jillian Biba's Race for Hope, and today we're zeroing in on a really massive turning point for our protagonist, Daniel. Specifically, we're going to figure out why he feels this overwhelming life or death need to join the police force in a world where the odds are just entirely stacked against him. Listen to the sheer desperation in this guy's head. This thought hits him right in the middle of these grueling physical tests for the National Police Academy. Daniel is running a 2-mile race on a scorching track, totally physically exhausted, but he isn't just trying to pass a test for a steady paycheck, you know? He looks into the stands, sees the worried face of his girlfriend's father, and this one thought completely consumes him. He absolutely needs the badge, the authority, and the power to protect. But, well, protect them from what exactly? The Academy Trials, a desperate motivation. So let's look at exactly what Daniel is fighting to protect his loved ones from, because the context here is anything but ordinary. It is, frankly, violently grim. The reality facing Daniel's girlfriend, Ilona, and her family is a total nightmare. Ilona's sister was kidnapped and trafficked to a brothel in Italy. Her brother actually managed to track her down, but to rescue her, he initiated a deadly firefight with the traffickers, killing some of their guards. So now, the entire family has a massive target on their backs. They're facing imminent, brutal revenge from a highly dangerous underground syndicate. Because of this, Ilona is literally forced to flee the country that very night via illegal sea smugglers just to stay alive. This is what gives Daniel his singular do-or-die goal. He has to become a cop to legally shield Ilona. The Academy's rejection, a bureaucratic roadblock. Just as Daniel pushes his body to the absolute limit to secure their safety, the legal path to power gets slammed shut in his face. The craziest part about this is that Daniel didn't actually fail. He had the physical prowess, the martial arts background, the passing test scores, the whole shebang. But, as his totally frustrated father tells him back in their cramped apartment, a bureaucratic overflow at the Academy means they simply don't have the spots. They filled the quota. Just like that, his legal route to becoming a protector completely vanishes, leaving him entirely defenseless, broke, and having to watch the love of his life prepare to flee across the sea. So now he's staring down an impossible, life-altering choice. With his legal path completely dead in the water, he is pushed toward a highly dangerous illegal alternative. If he can't protect Ilona in Albania as a cop, he's going to have to join her in exile. But with his family already starving on a partial pension, his options are incredibly bleak. The dangerous pivot. Turning to the underground. With his legal options fully extinguished and Ilona fleeing to Italy, Daniel has to pivot. He turns to the treacherous underground world of border smuggling, deciding he'll cross into Greece to make enough cash to eventually reach Italy. But even the illegal underground has VIP tiers, right? A relatively safe visa from corrupt embassy officials costs a staggering $800. That's money Daniel couldn't even dream of having. His only viable option is the $120 route on foot through the mountains. He actually has to borrow this money from his sparring partner and friend, Endry. It's a desperate financial gamble with his very life on the line.
Surviving the border, into the treacherous mountains. Leaving his terrified, weeping parents behind, Daniel sets off towards the Greek border, guided by this mysterious, highly capable smuggler known only as the Old Man.
To try and wrap your head around the scale of this underground world, consider this number, 500,000. When Daniel questions the safety of walking across the border, the old man casually mentions that 500,000 Albanians have made this exact dangerous crossing. It really highlights a mass desperation, you know? A whole population moving through the shadows just to survive. And this journey quickly turns into a timeline of absolute terror. This isn't just a simple midnight hike. Overnight, they have to dodge an Albanian military patrol. Later, they are forced to literally camouflage themselves in the mud to hide from the glaring spotlight of a Greek patrol helicopter. It's a tense game of cat and mouse, where a single cough or a snapped twig could mean imprisonment or worse. The absolute life-or-death stakes are really driven home when the old man later snaps at Daniel, "This is not a game." And he means it. During that harrowing helicopter encounter, an aggressive Greek special police officer fires blindly into the brush. The old man actually takes a bullet straight through the thigh. But instead of panicking, he treats the through-and-through gunshot wound in the dark with a bottle of twice-distilled Rocky, ties it off with a shirt, and just keeps walking. No way, right? This superhuman resilience, the absolute calm under fire, The ability to spot undercover agents reading newspapers with tiny holes cut in them. It naturally begs the question, who exactly is this mysterious guide navigating them through gunfire? I mean, he's clearly no ordinary smuggler. Daniel is incredibly observant and astutely deduces his guide's real identity. The old man isn't just some tough local, he's a highly skilled former intelligence operative. He spent years in an army recon unit and served in counter-espionage for the Albanian intelligence service during the harsh communist regime. He carries this heavy, dark burden of past actions where he had to make cold, calculated decisions to survive. And ironically, it's exactly this dark skill set that keeps Daniel alive on the mountain.
A new reality, the heartbreaking arrival. Using his extensive training, the old man successfully maneuvers their group right past those undercover agents and gets Daniel safely onto a bus and finally to a station in Athens. Daniel survived, he's reached the promised land, and is one step closer to reuniting with Alona.
But here comes the total gut punch. The moment he reaches safety, his entire world collapses. He rushes to a payphone to call Alona in Italy, expecting this joyful reunion. Instead, she confesses she's moved on. The trauma of her abusive brother and the sheer terror of her situation pushed her into the arms of an older man who offered her immediate comfort and, crucially, protection. The exact protection Daniel was trying to secure by joining the police in the first place. It's a devastating, ultimate irony. Daniel risked his life, dodged bullets, and abandoned his family just to build a future for the two of them. But that dangerous gamble, forced upon him by a broken system, just took too long. The delay cost him the relationship. He's left completely alone in a foreign country, having lost the exact reason he took the journey to begin with. As we wrap up this explainer, it leaves us pondering a really profound thought. Daniel's intentions were pure. He just wanted a badge so he could protect his loved ones. But when the very systems meant to protect us fail, and bureaucratic roadblocks push ordinary people into life-threatening extremes, the fallout is rarely something they can control. So how far would you go to save the ones you love? And what happens when that sacrifice costs you absolutely everything? Definitely something to think about.